I am so super excited to bring you this project. I can't even begin to tell you. This is the Mermaids purse, and it's an interactive journaling folio, unlike any other. These lovely dangles, we've got this fishtail, we've got a little bead, we've got this shell here, and these little charms, and this little bottle, and that little charm, and they just dangle there, bringing that extra dimension of loveliness to the front. And we open this up with a magnetic closure and have a look inside and start to see everything that we have got going on in here. It really is lovely. Let's begin with the mermaid herself. And here she is. And she opens to reveal herself in all her glory there. We'll pop her there. And next up we have this little notebook, which is the ocean and stars in a bottle. And you've got this little stitched notebook there. That's rather lovely. This little purse, this little mesh purse with the starfish on the front of it, opens up to reveal a string of pearls, and I'm calling this Pearls of Wisdom. And if you wrote little snippets of wise things on here, that would be absolutely wonderful. And that's got this little lovely little hidden closure here. So that's that piece. Next up, we've got some little tags. We've got this perfume bottle that opens up into a little tag. We've got another bottle with the ocean inside it, with the waves inside it, making waves. And then we've got these little jellyfish, which I'm calling a nursery for baby jellyfish. So there we are, there's those three. Here we have a map of the ocean that's got a large writing space on the reverse, and that closes up like that in this nice interesting way. So that's that piece. Then we have this beautiful little frame that's got these shells in it, and this shell here pulls out to reveal a writing space there. So that's that one. Let's move on to the other side. We have this bottle here. Now this is quite a clever little creation, even if I do say so myself, because this is a hidden tag here, but also this piece on this side acts as a closure for this, which will open up when we lift this up. That will open up into a complete writing space, and then that will go back down over that section there, and it just becomes a beautiful decorative bottle. So that's that piece. Next up we have I'm loving this. Next up we have fish in a bowl, and the idea behind this was she would have fish friends, not maybe necessarily in a handbag, but she wouldn't need a fish bowl as such because she's already in the water. So she's got this bowl that her little fish friends can come and hang out in. And it's a beautiful bowl, and they are beautiful little fish. And there are 5 of them that snuggle down into this beautiful decorative bowl, and they have got writing spaces on the back there. So they're little journaling cards. I think you can tell I'm having a lot of fun making these kits. This one I really love. Let's do this one first because it's a little simpler. This one is a beautiful jewellery box with a pendant inside it that opens up to reveal quite a large writing space. There's a lot of writing space in this one. So let's pop that there. This one is charming too. This is a little makeup case for a mermaid, for the glittery eyeshadow, and on this one you have a secret little tag that tucks into that space there. You can barely see it at all when that's closed. So that's a proper little secret tuck spot. This is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. Oh dear, this kit makes me so happy. It's a purse, a mermaid's coin purse, but she doesn't have coins. She has pearls, and they tuck away in here, and they're little writing spaces. And I've also popped these little beautiful little seahorses, little fussy cuts in there, and I've also got a tiny little clamshell with a little writing space inside there. So that is the Mermaid's pearl purse, let's call it that. that's that. And then the last piece for this kit is this pocket watch, and it's decorated with shells. I believe it must have belonged to her grandfather or somebody special. I don't think it's a design she would have had herself, but I think this is a special little treasure that she... So here we are at the beginning of our mermaid journey. It's going to be great. I've printed out this sheet here, and I've reverse printed it with this beautiful sheet. I've printed out this sheet with the pockets and the mermaid. I just want the pockets for now, and I've reverse printed with a different sheet because I want something to go on the back of the mermaid. And I've printed this sheet here for the closure, and I've reverse printed this with this same sheet. So I'm going to cut those out and we'll get stuck in. So my pieces are cut out. They look delightful. I love that inside. I've also creased and folded my pockets. This forms a box shape, so you need to make sure that these edges are sitting at 90 degrees and then glue these little flaps, which is what I've done. And I've let my glue go tacky, which is one of my stock statements on my videos. Let your glue go tacky. I'm going to place that pocket in place, and then I'm going to get some kind of tool. A ruler is great, and just run it on the inside of those tabs there to stick those down, and just check everything's reaching my ruler, just check that everything's sitting nicely at 90 degrees and make whatever adjustments you need to make. Have your pocket sitting just above that fold there so that everything's going to fold up nicely. You don't want it overhanging so your structure won't close. There we go. There's my pocket on. Same on the other side. Well, now I've got my closure here. Doesn't matter which side this goes on, they're both the same. This is reverse printed with this little piece, and it fits rather nicely on there, and they join up to make that quite symmetrical little shape. And then when my structure is closed, it looks like that. Absolutely beautiful. That's that section. Let's move on and do a little bit more. Seeing as I had these little bottles already printed out, I thought I'd go with these. So I've printed out this sheet here, and I've printed this onto 120 gram paper. I want it to be fairly light because these are going to be pages for this notebook, and I've reverse printed it with the pale pretty blue background with the stars. This I printed, incidentally, I didn't mention, I've printed on 250 because this is only a single sheet and it's carrying everything else. I want this to be as sturdy as possible. So that's gone on to 250, which means that these are also on 250. Now, the way I treat these, which you may have seen already, is that I cut a little bit of the edge so that I've got something to line up, and then I line up and I fold. Not necessarily creasing at this point, because if you get that crease slightly off, it messes about with these as well. So line that up, make your crease, and then you can go in and cut both of these layers at the same time. There we are. That's that done. I'm going to ink up my edges. This kit is just dark enough to be able to take it. And what I've also done here that I haven't allowed for is I have allowed a slight, just a slight margin, spine in the middle here. So I'm going to crease at one edge of the bottle and then that edge of the bottle so that I form myself a little rounded spine here, and I can just work that around and back again. So I've got that little bit of a rounded spine, just a little bit of depth to take these pages. Now here's my little folded cover. I've cut out my sheets and I folded those all together, and I'm just going to pop one inside the other. Line my sheets up in the middle. You can see that the actual cover of this bottle notebook is bigger than the pages, and then I'm going to make a couple of holes, maybe 4, right the way through. If you want to bulldog clip your pages together, that's a very sensible idea. I'm just going to do 4 holes If you want to measure and be perfectly symmetrical with all this, you go ahead. And I'm going to start at the front of the inside. I'm going to work my way to the back. The next one, I'm going to come up through that hole there and down, just making a simple running stitch, and then back up through this last hole. And when I get up to the top here, I'm just going to come down through this hole here, and back up through that one at the back, and that's me done. I've made my stitch. So I'll cut these pieces off, tie off my ends. There we are, and there is our stitch folded little booklet. So here's my little mermaid girl cut out. If you want to leave a little white border around the edge, you go ahead and do that. I chose to cut right in tight, and I've given some heavy inking as well, and I rather like that look. Obviously she doesn't fit in here, so my plan here is to fold her around the knee area here, bring her tail up around her head, a little bit more perhaps there, and she can pop into our journal pocket just to be a little bit of whimsy, and then she just opens out to reveal her beautiful self. And isn't she gorgeous? And up next we have the Mermaid's coin purse, or the Mermaid's pearl purse. So I'm going to cut all of these out, and then we're going to put it together. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this turns out. I think this is so beautiful. Let's go. And I'm employing my usual trick here of cutting out a little bit of each side so that I can then line these up and stick these together, and I can carry on cutting everything out as one piece. So a couple of bulldog clips, keep it all in place, and then I can carry on cutting round. So here's my coin purse cut out on both sides with some ink, and I've also cut out my little pearls, and I've inked those quite lightly. I went heavier on that one. I don't think it works quite so well, so I'm keeping the inking light, but I do want it because it gives a bit of definition to these. Now on this side of the purse, you will see that there's this shape going on here, and I'm going to slice into that on both sides, not all the way around because I want the thing to stay together, but I'm just going to honour this shape and come round close as I can and as accurately as I can, not all the way to the edge, and the same on the other side. And this hasn't been reverse printed, and it's on 250. You could go 200 with this one if you wanted to go a little bit thinner. So that's that sliced there. I can put these two pieces together now, and I can crease them, and these are just going to be creased in half. I might have that the wrong way out. Let's see. They are dead accurate because I cut them out together. Now up to you if you want to go straight down the middle there, straight through that pearl, or if you want to come either side of this pearl and give this a slight, just a slight gusset, and I think I'm going to do that. I know I'm going to do that. So now I can fold these pieces. Obviously this needs to go inwards. And I can fold this piece here, and I'm going to glue these two pieces together. You can fold afterwards if you want to, it doesn't really make a difference. There we are. So I'm going to get my big glue, and I am going to glue on this side because I can see what's going on here, and I obviously don't want to glue any of this here because I'm going to use those as little tuck spots for my pearls. So I'll put a little seam of glue there. My glue's coming out a bit rapidly, and then I can glue all over this section and all over here, a little tiny bit of glue down that section. There we are. And I can stick my two pieces together Have I got them on the right way round? Yes, I have. And when that glue is all nice and dry, I can pop my little pearls in, and these, of course, that's really sweet. I'm sure I've got some more here somewhere that I haven't cut them all out. There's another one there. Look, let's quickly cut this one out and pop that in our purse. And that's our Mermaids coin purse. I haven't got any glue on this side. There we go. So that can go inside our Mermaid's purse along with the other bits and bobs that we've got, and we'll carry on. So this is the next page I'm going to be working on, this here, and because this section here needs that piece to work, I've printed out that page as well. So I'll cut those out and we'll put them together. There we are. I've cut out this piece and these two pieces. I'm going to work on this one first. And I didn't mention, I've also reverse printed that these two pages with something pale because I want to be able to write on the back. This piece simply folds in half, and hopefully I've got my shells nicely lined up. You want to have your shells nicely lined up. That's the important bit for that one. So line up your shells. If you've got any extra on there, you can trim that off if you want to. This piece here, I want to cut this white space out. I'm going to cut this window out, and I'm going to do that, I think, with my ruler. And when I was studying my degree for my illustration training, I was taught to always protect the work you want to keep. So I always put my ruler on top of the bit that I'm keeping, so that if I slip, I'm likely to go onto the bit that I'm losing, and there's no great shakes. Well, that was a long time ago now, but it stayed with me. So I'm hopefully cutting through these both sections at once. Oops, try not to cut through my ruler. And then they'll all line up beautifully. And I can go in with a little bit of ink just to lose that white edge of paper. So hopefully I'm through. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, a little bit up there. There we are. Add a little bit of ink, and then this section here I can lose my cutting mat now. This here I'm just going to glue into a pocket. Just a little seam of glue. My glue's tricky, won't come out very easily. A little bit of glue will go right around these edges like this. I'm going to have a look where this sits. Pop a little glue down there and put a bit more glue in there, and I can also pop a little bit of glue down there, not that I need it. And I can glue this pocket together, put that to one side. I love this piece, the Mermaids makeup palette. I've been really looking forward to making this one. Now, you need to crease and fold this flap here on this piece, and you need to crease and fold this piece here so it folds together. And this flap here gets glued, pops under this section here, and that sticks like that. Line that up. Now, to make sure you're lining that up properly and it's all going to work, give that a moment to grab. Fold these two pieces together, and then this piece is going to close over here as a lid. So do your final linings up with this in this position. There we are. So that's that piece. That needs to dry before we put the finishing touches to that. So we can go back to this piece now, and then this piece simply slots in here. Yeah, and the shells line up. This is first time in. Things are always a bit tricky. They're first time in, aren't they? There we are. And then the shells line up with this thumb cut hole here, and you've got this lovely little photo frame with these shells in. that when you slip this out, that then becomes quite a nice journaling space. So that's that one done. That can go in our mermaid's purse. We'll come back to this one, and I need my cutting mat for this one, because this section here is going to be a little hidden tag, and you need to make sure that you're putting it on this side, not this side. It looks like it could go here, but the shading's all wrong. You need it to be on this side, so you've got the light and the dark there. And I am going to cut right across this centre line here, like that. So you can pop your piece on, line that up, have a look how far you need it to come across, and just make your cut. I think I'm going to make my cut at the top of this paler line here. Come right the way around. All the way to the other side, and then when you pop that in its little tuck spot, you should be able to just line that up beautifully, so you've got this hidden tag. It was really effective. Look, it's barely there at all. It's this little hidden tag that lives in there. So I can go ahead now and glue these two sections together. I'm going to leave my tag perfectly in place while I put my glue on, so that I know exactly where I'm gluing, because I'm forming a pocket inside. Let's just get this dead lined up. There we are. So I'm going to glue up here, all the way around. Underneath, it's tricky to see on the video, I expect, because we've got this paper. Just make sure that you're not gluing on the tag itself, and you're just gluing on the pocket. Whoops. Pop these two pieces together and line them up nicely. Bring this piece down, check everything's all lined up nicely, and you're good to go. You can stick that in place, and I would suggest taking your tag out at this point. There we are. That looks wonderful. That's the Mermaids makeup palette. Now the next piece is very similar in its style as the piece we've just done, but this one opens to reveal a large writing space on the back there, and this beautiful box. I love this box. It looks like the sea is actually in it. It's got this three-dimensional element to it. So we can fold this piece in half. We can pop this piece over here like this, and that's how that's going to look when it's closed. So I need to glue this piece onto the back of this piece here. I love how these pieces all fit together like curious little puzzles, and they don't go where you'd expect them to go. They go like in all sorts of unexpected places. So glue those two pieces together like that. Pop these two pieces together, fold this over so that you can see exactly where you're going and that it's all lining up nicely, and then you can press it down in place. I love that, absolutely love that. That underwater box that actually looks like it's the underwater. So pretty. So when we open this up now, you have this beautiful pendant in a box, and you've got this lovely large writing space. So that's that piece complete. The final piece left on those two sheets is this purse here, and for the purse I need this lovely long string of pearls here, and I've got those, they're quite exciting too, but let's do the purse and the pearls first. So we have the purse. It's beautiful. Cut out, and I reverse printed this sheet as well, this sheet with the pale backing, because there's some writing spaces I want there. So that's that. Now we've got the string of pearls, and there's a few things that we can do with this. If you want to just zigzag fold this and pop it in the purse and have it as it is, go ahead and do that. Or you can, the reason I printed it on this blue background was I wanted to give you the option to leave it like that if that's how you wanted it to go, and you didn't want to cut these pearls out. And I'm not sure I'm going to cut them out actually, because I seem to be having issues with where they're lying. Let's have a look. Let's crease that. Oh, I know what I've done. I'm a ninny. Let's make sure that we're nice and straight. Of course, my first piece isn't going to accordion fold accurately because I've got this extra little bit at the end. I'm a twit. So we'll fold those there. Now, if you want to leave that like that in your purse, you can do. Now, this purse hasn't got a closure on it. We'll see what we can do about that in a moment. Or you could cut out these pearls so that when you open it up, you've got the scalloped, the shaped edge. Or, and I might need to fold the other way for this trick, you can do this so that when you open up, you have this string of pearls appearing, but then you scupper yourself for the writing space because you can't get at that. Or you could glue it onto one side so that when you pull it down, you've got the writing space. Now, I might do that. So there's several ways you can take this, so play about and do what you want with it. I think for the sake of the video, I'll go all the way. You've seen what it looks like if we leave it like that. Let's see what it looks like if we cut these circles out, if we cut each pearl out. Here we are. So here are all my pearls cut out like that in a row. And I think what I'm going to do with these, like I say, there are various ways you can treat them. I'm going to pop one on. Where would it be? If that's the front of my purse and my purse is going to open like this, I think I'm going to pop one on here. I'm going to glue that on so that when I open my pearls that way, I can see them. And then when I open my pearls that way, I've got that lovely long writing space. Have I got all that in camera? I don't know. But whilst I'm doing that, I'm also going to make myself a little hidden closure. So I've got a little scrap here. And I'm thinking about this live. I'm going to pop that under there like that. No, I'm not. I'm going to pop it. I'm going to glue it on here. So if I make myself a little crease and fold, I'm going to glue this section onto my purse in the middle like this. And I'm going to have this little hidden closure on this one. So when I glue this piece down, this end pearl here to this section, I'm going to leave a little hidden pocket for that to slip into. So I'm just going to glue, oh, I can do it like this. Look at this, thinking on the hoof. How brilliant. I'm just going to glue, I'll trim a little bit of this off. Might make life easier. And then give myself a margin all around this tag here so it's not difficult to pop on. Glue that there. Turn this around, pop it in the middle, and hopefully my little idea for a closure there will work. Whoops. So I'll let that glue dry before we mess about with that, I think. Yeah, I've got some erratic light outside today. I hope it doesn't mess with the video too much. Now, this has had a chance to dry. So I've got my pearls opening one way and then my pearls opening the other way. And I've stuck this closure on. I've allowed that time to dry. And I've made it a secret little pocket inside this pearl here. Now, I think, now that I've done this, I think I would suggest to you to leave this as a little flap. So I would think I would glue next time. I'd just glue this section here and leave this space more open. Because it's a little tricky to get this in. It does go, and when it goes very, very nicely, actually. There we go, there's a little bit of a knack to it. So when that's closed like that, and it's beautiful. It works really well, really nice tight closure. And then you can open it up and you've got your pearls and all that writing space. So there we go. Pop that back in there. Yeah, a little bit of a knack, but that's absolutely fine. That works beautifully. And that piece and this piece can now go in our mermaid's purse. Whoops, there goes the mermaid to join everything else. I keep getting her out. I think even though she's just a folded tag, she's so effective. I love that. You don't even really notice this bit at first. And then you open her out and she's there in all her glory. It took quite a bit of work to pull that all together. But there we go. That's what happens behind the scenes. And finally, for those pages, we have these pieces here, which I've cut out. Now, this piece will only fit on this side. You've got this narrow section here and the narrow section here, so you need this to go over this side. I've cut a slit, as you've seen me do in this video already, along this line here. And I've also had to trim down these two edges just a little bit to make that fit, because this was getting very, very close to the edge and we don't want to go right up to the edge. And this tag, this long tag for this beautiful, whatever it is, bottle, really, really pretty thing, that just sits in there. I'm going to glue this together to form a pocket, but I've got this edge here, and you know I like to go all the way with things. So I've got this extra little bit that I'm going to stick on here, but I'm only going to stick it on to the level of that there. I'll show you what I mean right now. So I've got my piece in place. Make sure my piece is just exactly where I want it to be. Yes, it is. Absolutely seamless. So I'm going to come down now, glue this section, glue this whole top piece here. Let that glue grab, and then we'll glue that in place. Now this piece here, you can treat in a few ways. You could keep that like that to have it a semi-shaped card. So you've got that nice writing space inside. You can, which is what I'm going to do, cut it out on both sides to make this shaped card. Not to go too far, because you need to leave yourself a little bit of an edge. You haven't got too much to play with. So I'm just going to come down to there. That'll do. Could come down a little bit further, but no, I want to leave that there, I think. There we are. So there's my little journaling card there. Or you can cut all of this out, glue those two pieces together and just have it as a little bit of whimsy in your journal. But I'm going to leave that journaling space right there. Now let's come back to this piece. The glue's had a chance to go tacky. I'm going to take this section here and I'm going to pop it down on here in what I consider to be the right place and glue those two pieces in place. I might just trim this tiny little, make that less sharp at the ends, just because the piece of paper isn't going to like it. So now, in effect, you've got the this lid on both sides, and what you also have is a closure if you want to leave this open. So you could leave this section open now, and it opens like this, so you've got all of this journaling space. And I think in this instance I might do that. You've seen in this video how I would glue around all the edges, leave the tag in place, glue around the edges, bring this closed to make a pocket. And by all means, if you want to do that with this piece, you go ahead and do it. But I think that's quite interesting as a little closure and to maximise on your journal space. I like that a lot. Right, these two pieces can now go in our journal, which is starting to get rather full. How exciting. There we are. Put that piece the other way round. There we go. Looking really, really nice. Those colours are just beautiful together. And next up we have these beautiful little glittery fishes. If you want to go over there with some glittery accents, that would work really, really nicely for this one. And I've also got these 2 bowls that were on another page. I've reverse printed this with a pale sheet because I want some journaling space with these. So right, I'm going to cut these out. I'm really excited. Let's crack on. So here are my pieces cut out. I've still got some little bits and bobs that I'm going to be dealing with in a little while. Excited about those. Now this here, I've got 2 bowl pieces that are going to go back to back like this, with the slit in them to fit these little fish. So I can make that slit in both sides of this bowl. There's one. Where's my other bowl gone? There it is. And here's the other. Now this idea came about when I was thinking, what goes in a mermaid's purse? What would a mermaid keep in her purse? And then I thought goldfish bowl. And I thought, well, she wouldn't need a goldfish bowl. She wouldn't need to keep the things in water because they're already in water. So the idea of having your little fish friends in a bowl like this. There we are. That's how they go. I can make that slit a little bit light, a little bit wider. But no, I'm happy with that. That's fine. Let's go with that. So again, I'm going to pop a fish in place so I can see where I'm gluing. I'm going to glue. Obviously, a fine-tipped bottle is what you need for this job. So I can glue this section at the top here, seam of glue around the edge. And I can glue this little piece at the bottom here. And then I can glue these 2 pieces together like that. Give those a moment. I'll take my little fishy out. Oh, that's beautiful. What a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. Right, put my little friends to one side for a moment. I don't need my cutting mat anymore. And then I'm going to make this beautiful little watch, which is very simply folding up and then folding down. So you've got the case. Oh, that's so nice. You've got the case that reveals the watch, the pocket watch, and that reveals this writing space here. So that's that piece complete. I'll come back here and I'll pop my fish in. Now when you've got 2 slits, one either side like that, you can have a bit of an issue getting in that slit first of all. Oh, this is behaving itself. But once you've got one piece in on one side like that, let's angle him like that. This one on this side will go in, no bother at all. And you've got a couple of little fishes. Look at him, he's gorgeous, he's so cute. You've got a couple of little fishes that will now live in your fish bowl. There's 5 of them all together, 3 on one side. Look, he's peeping out over the top, and 3 on the other. And of course, these, it's a bit tight on that one. I think I made this one slightly bigger. Let's get him in there. There we are. These are, of course, journaling cards on the reverse. So now I've got my fish bowl. Oh, look, so cute. That can go in my mermaid journal along with everything else. This is a really full up thing now. It's beautiful. Okay, so I've cut out my little pieces and I've glued them back to back to make these little dangles for the front or the side of my mermaid's purse. And whilst I don't want this to become a jewellery making tutorial, I do want to get some little chains. I want to get these things dangling from some little chains. So I've got some jump rings that I'm going to pop on my pieces. And then I've cut myself some little pieces of chain that I have for my jewellery making forays when I go down that route. I'll get this on in a minute. Let's get a bigger one. Now when you get these, if you haven't already got some, they're really nice to have in. These little jump rings. They do often come with a little tool. It looks like a ring with a slit in it. and they're ever so handy for opening your jump rings. But mine, of course, has gone missing. There we go, a bigger one's going to be much easier for that job. And then I'm going to pop a little length of chain onto the end of this jump ring. There we go. And then I'm going to close my jump ring, and of course jump rings move from side to side. Don't pull them apart if you're not used to using jump rings. Don't pull them apart like that. You're moving them side to side. So that is my little mermaid's tail on a piece of chain. He looks absolutely fabulous. I've got this one already on a piece of longer chain, and I've got my shell to go on this, I think, mid-length chain, and these little beauties are working very well for me. These slightly bigger ones, there's more wiggle room, so open it side to side, pop it through, pop your piece of chain. You can use twine, you don't have to make these into dangles at all. You could put them on a bulb pin. I just found myself going down this route, so I'm going with it. And I also found these little charms when I was looking for the ring that opens the jump rings, and also this little bit here that I'm going to use. So I'm going to pop a charm, I think. Pop a sandcastle onto that one. Your stuff will be different. So like I said, I didn't want this to turn into a jewellery making tutorial. Have a look through your stuff, see what you've got. I'm sure you've got all sorts of interesting things. And then this little heart, I think I'll put on this shell here. There we are. And then these 3 chains I'm going to put onto one jump ring. Close that up, and then I'm going to get one last big one, and that's going to be the one that goes on my purse. So get my biggest. Tricky to open, I wish I had the tool. So pop that on there, leave that all like that for a moment, come over here, decide where I'm going to put these things. They're a bit longer. My chains are a bit longer than I had anticipated. Do you know, I think I'm going to make these chains a little bit shorter. How annoying. Right, I'll be back with you in a bit. Okay, so I've made my chains a little bit shorter, and I am really happy with this little collection of dangles here. And I've also put myself an eyelet in here. But because I haven't put it dead close to the edge, which I didn't really want to do, what I'm having to do now is put another eyelet really close to it. And I'm now going to set this eyelet right next to it, there, like that. So now I've got this little arrangement. I can get one of my big jump rings here. It's tricky to open without my tool. Could use 2 pairs of pliers. And I'm going to feed this eyelet through one hole and back through the other, and then I can pop my little arrangement of gubbins on here, close this up, which absolutely would be a dream with my little tool that's gone missing. Bring my eyelet closed, and there it is. Now I usually like to do my closure at the end, but because I think we've come this far, I've got one more page to make, but because I think I've come this far, I'm going to put my magnets on. Put my magnets on now. How cool does this look? That looks really nice. Really happy that I've got. They may be small, but they are mighty. I really had to wrestle with them to get them out of the packet. Right, where am I going to put this? The logical place is underneath there, but I don't want it that close to the centre. I think I'm going to go about here and pop that on. Hello, fish. I'm going to pop this on about there. Bring my piece round. Plus, I don't really want to be covering that up on the inside. It's pretty, isn't it? So I'll bring my piece round, take my backing paper off, press my magnet in place, and just let that adhesive do whatever the adhesive needs to do for a minute or two, and go back and really just admire my charms. I love this fishtail one. I think that's beautiful. And this little tiny shell, which is the same shell as I've used for the actual coin purse or the pearl purse, is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I just love it. And then this is just a little arrangement in a little round bottle. And I've got this little sandcastle charm here that I had from a pile of things that I've probably bought cheaply somewhere. So there we are. It's looking wonderful. Now let's do the last page. And so here is the very last page. Now this page is a bit of an addition and an extra, if you like, because I'd finished the kit and then I thought, oh my goodness, how is our mermaid going to negotiate her way round the oceans without a map? So now she has got a world map of the oceans, and I just love that. And then these extra little bits and pieces, I do not like to leave a page half full. So these extra little bits and pieces came into being as well. There's waves in a bottle here, another journaling card, which is nice. This one, you may be wondering why she's got jellyfish in a bottle. They're little baby jellyfish, obviously, so think of it as a nursery, if you like, or she's babysitting. She wouldn't keep jellyfish in a bottle. And that's another journaling tag, an opening little journaling card as a filler. Then we have this little clamshell here, which you can do what you like with. I needed to fill up the page. I don't like leaving you with half empty pages and wasting that beautiful, beautiful paper that you've been using. Oh, incidentally, I've used 250 throughout this, in case you've missed that, 250 gram. And then I've got these two little fussy cut seahorses. You can go as tight as you want with that fussy cutting. Yeah. So here is our map cut out, and to fold it, you need to fold it in half, nice big crease, fold it in half, nice big crease, and with this fold here, you fold this edge to meet this edge, and the same on the other side. And then you want to open that up, turn it over, and do the same thing the other way around, just so that you get these creases nicely reinforced. And then there are two ways that you can treat this. You can either push these two edges in, have a fiddle about with it. It's quite good fun to mess about with, and you can have a triangular shape like that, or you can have it on like as in a diamond shape like that. Bring these two edges together and bring these two edges together with two valley folds, and you've got that in a nice little square shape. And that's how I'm going to go. So there we are. There we are. We have done it. And in a second, I'm going to pop those in and we're going to have a good look. But you may be wondering what on earth these pieces are for. This was our mermaid that we cut out. Now, these pieces, again, I do not like to leave white paper, and it's quite an inspiration for me. So I created these pieces, and these pieces will fit back to back. If you want to go ahead and use those in a dangle, you do that. But these pieces I've generated for me, and I'm going to make jewellery out of these, and I may well make a separate video with these. If I don't get round to that, refer to my YouTube video on the paper jewellery tutorial, and that will show you everything you need to know to make something absolutely beautiful out of these two pieces. It would make back to back with a couple of other pieces of paper as a stiffener. This would make a beautiful, beautiful pendant, and if you wanted to print it out again at a slightly reduced size, it would also make a beautiful pair of earrings. So go and have a look at my paper jewellery tutorial for how you can make yourself some beautiful jewellery out of those two pieces. Right, let's get back to our mermaid journal with its awesome dangles. I'm so glad I went that far. If I had some adhesive gems, I might be tempted to put a few adhesive gems on there, and if you've got some glittery accenty type of stuff, oh, by all means, go ahead, decorate, get some glitter on there. And then I've got my magnetic closure here, opening up to reveal this amazing collection of beautifully coloured and themed mermaid ephemera and whatnot. Let's have a look what we've got in here. We've got our watch with its lovely closure. We've got our mermaid. Now, I love this, so simple but so beautiful. Absolutely love that. There we go, she's our mermaid. These are our fish in a fish bowl, and they're just her little friends that come and hang out in a fish bowl. Why wouldn't they? There's 5 of those in there. This piece I really, really love also. It's a little makeup set, an eyeshadow set for our mermaid, and it's got a hidden tag tucked away in there as well. That's that one. This is the mermaid's purse. I absolutely love this. I might pop my seahorses and this little clamshell in here. It's got some little pearls in it that are also journaling spaces. Pop my little clam in there. Pop my little seahorses in here as well. Oh, I love this so much, so much. There we go. And that's that. I love that. I just think that's so beautiful. I could cry. I could really cry. And then we have this little notebook in the shape of a bottle there, like that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This piece I particularly love. I like the innovation of this tag that opens but is kept closed by this piece here that forms this full picture. Really lovely, really lovely. And then we've got this here that I adore. And this opens up to form a really nice big journaling space. That's that one there. And then we have this little purse full of pearls that open up to form a writing space there. Little pearls of wisdom and a writing space there as well, with this little closure that I just had to think up on the spot, but that works really, really well. Something that you can take forward there. Then I've got this piece here, which slides out to reveal a journaling card. I'm not going to take that all the way out because it's a bit tricky to put in. So I'll leave that on there. Then we have this perfume bottle, which opens to form a tag. And then we've got these 2 other pieces that follow the same kind of format as that. And we've got this little nursery of jellyfish here. And we've got this beautiful big map of the ocean here. And I am done. Now I have generated all the designs, the concept, the all the pieces, thought my way through them. I have been living with this beautiful mermaid project right from conception to now, and it is so thrilling for me to be able to see it completed. And my next part of the thrilling journey is to begin to see all your creative makes as you put this together as well. So I do hope you've enjoyed that tutorial. I hope you love this latest addition to my interactive folios, and I look forward to my next project, which is going to be coming up very, very soon. I'm really excited about it, and I will see you soon.